Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for being around. It is 7 minutes after the hour. It's right under the lip of that table if you need that, Jeff. I'm looking at you right. Yeah, it's over there. You just have to look for it. By the way, it's the 6 o'clock hour of the Matt Murphy Show. We're happy to have you with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I promised that I would get into a little bit more of the shutdown threat and a little bit into the Memphis story, and we'll do both of those things. Plus, I failed to mention this in the first 3 hours, and I just want to mention it. I'm inspired by the next guest that we have because he is a singer and a songwriter. Dolly. I'm on record as saying that Dolly Parton is the finest human being walking the face of the earth, and I'll fight you on that. You know, so Dolly Parton announced, and I was looking at this a minute ago, and I don't want to screw it up, so I'm going to share it with you. She had some dates that she was going to be doing some concerts, and she had to postpone those. She said, "I want the fans and public to hear directly from me that unfortunately I need to postpone my upcoming Vegas concerts. As many of you know, I've been dealing with some health challenges, and my doctors tell me I must have a few procedures. As I joked with them, it must be time for my 100,000-mile checkup, although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon. In all seriousness, given this, I'm not going to be able to rehearse and put the show together that I'd want you to see, the show that you deserve. You pay good money to see me perform, and I want to do my best for you while I'll still be able to work on my projects from here in Nashville. I just need a little time to get the show ready, as they say. Don't worry about me quitting the business, because God hasn't said anything about me stopping yet, but I believe he's telling me to slow down right now so I can be ready for more big adventures with all of you. I love you, and thank you for understanding." That's Dolly. So we're thinking about her. She postponed her Vegas trip. We're thinking about music right now, too, because, you know, obviously we've all been trying to dissect and figure out where to put our emotions that came about in the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And a good friend of mine, Don Murray, and if you don't know Don, he's been on the show from time to time. He's a good fella. He hit me up and told me that there's a local artist by the name of Jeff Bates who's been around the music scene for a couple of decades now. And he has written a song, and he said, you might want to check this out. And so I listened to the song, and it moved me. And I thought, well, let's get Jeff on here to talk about his inspiration for writing it. And obviously it came out of tragedy, but out of tragedy comes a blessing like this song, and I truly believe that it is. And with all of that in mind, without further ado, we'll welcome to the program Jeff Bates, who joins us in studio. Jeff, good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon to you, Matt. Hey, it's an honor to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you too, brother. And you've been. I did a little bit of research, and you've been around the block a time or two. You've been in Nashville for a couple of years now.
Yeah. I moved here in 2000, I think, in the middle of a drug addiction, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. 2001, got arrested for meth and grand theft, stealing to support the habit.
Oh, wow.
Went directly to jail, just like the Monopoly game says. You know, I didn't have a get out of jail card free, or get out of jail free card. So I was looking at 6 to 15 years, you know. Got down on my knees by my bunk and said, God, help me. I believe you made me. I believe you created me. I was 37 years old at the time. And if I got to spend that much time in here, I don't want to spend another second here being the guy I've been for the past 37 years. And I don't know how to fix me. I don't know how to change me. But you do. I believe that. So if you're willing to do the change, and I'm willing to do the work. And the work is simply getting honest with me, because if I lie to me, I'll lie to anybody, right? Mm-hmm. So I started getting honest with myself and everybody else, and wound up walking out of jail on 1 year probation after 96 days.
Wow.
1 year after that, got called by RCA, signed my record deal. It was incredible. Been clean and sober ever since March 14th, 2001.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been amazing.
How has talk to me about the journey in the music industry? I mean, you know, I'll tell you a quick story, and you tell me if this is. I mean, I didn't know anything about Nashville. I don't know anything about what I don't know about music would fill a volume of encyclopedia.
Yeah.
But I got here about a year before my wife,
right,
and so I, did the whole, I did the whole bit. I went to all of the places that you're supposed to go see, and I learned everything you're supposed to learn. And then I went to a bunch of the different music places, music halls, and watched a bunch of people perform. And one day, she and I are talking. We're sitting in Leaper's Fork at the Fox and Lock.
Right.
and formerly Puckett's, and we're watching a guy perform, and he's good. And she goes, man, he's good. He's great. He's going to get signed.
Yeah.
And I said, darling, just wait. I said, you're gonna hear about 1,000 of him
Right.
over there. And, there's a lot of performers that are in Nashville.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your experience and how you've survived for the length of time that you survived in the industry.
What helped me survive was not playing in Nashville.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, even now, a lot of people ask me, when are you going to play in Nashville again? Well, I try not to.
Right.
I don't hate it, but this is not where my fans are. I go where my fans are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, towns and cities and states where there's bona fide Jeff Bates fans. Here, they're music fans and they're music business people.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to impress the music business people. So I'd rather play somewhere where people want to hear what I do.
How would you describe your music?
As uniquely country and mine. If that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a melting pot of hundreds of acts who came before me. I think we're all influenced by somebody. I got nagged on, ragged on for years about sounding like Conway Twitty. I didn't come here to sound like Conway Twitty. I came here to sound like me. I can do this. You know, you sound like you're trying to sound like Conway. No, I drank.
Are you talking about the little scratch in your
gravel?
the gravel in your throat. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I can make it do that on purpose, and a lot of it sounds just like an old broken tube because I used to sing in bars and nightclubs 6 nights a week, and probably drank a fifth of Crown a night, and smoked a couple of packs of Marlboro Lights while I was doing it. So yeah, it's got its own thing. My voice does, and yeah, there's some of that in there, but there's a lot of other stuff in there too.
How did you know of Charlie Kirk? I mean, were you real familiar with him before his assassination?
Very, very familiar. To me, things got really screwy. Can I say that on radio?
Yeah, absolutely.
They got really screwy around 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking about far from the norm politically. And I was living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at the time. My next door neighbor in January of 2020 walks across the road and kills himself.
Wow.
And I thought, what just happened? You know, this is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then things started coming. You know, COVID came and the political playing field didn't just get leveled, it got torn apart. And so I started listening to that kind of stuff. And Charlie Kirk comes along, and here's a young guy that to me studies the Bible like I study the Bible, which is you gotta study the culture of the times to figure out what they meant by what they said when they were saying things they said 2,000, 3,000 years ago. And he did that. I heard him bring it up multiple times at colleges where he was speaking. The other thing, he was very attuned and in tune with what's going on politically around news. And he wasn't trying to feed me any lines, you know. You just tell the truth, like he saw it, like he's, you know. And so, yeah, I started following him and followed him pretty regularly. And I thought, what a great young guy. If America had more people that were believers like that, I believe, that were so family-oriented and male being the spiritual leader of the house and leading that way, I think that our America would be more like the America I grew up in.
When you write, have you always been drawn to write from your faith? Or, I mean, or do you just, I mean, I hate to ask the question that you guys always get asked, and that is, you know, where do the songs come from?
Yeah. But,
I mean, do you feel like you're drawn to that style of writing more so? I mean, obviously the song that you've written about Charlie is an incredibly faithful song.
It's very much about faith, but it's also about life, the humor of life. I think it's a great big joke. I think when we get to heaven, man, I think somebody's going to be sitting up there giggling, saying, "You were stupid and it was funny and it was awesome. We're glad to have you." You know, I think there's going to be an element of that, but at the same time, there's the spiritual side of it, and I believe we're all connected spiritually, and it's either positive or negative. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, my music, my writing always comes from that, plus real life occurrences, how it affects me, how it impacts me, how I've lived, and I try to write things that I have lived, that I've experienced. You know,
and this, I mean, obviously we know where this came from. This song came from, but
yeah,
you know, walk me through how that happened with you. I mean, did it just come to you?
It was crazy. It was crazy.
I mean, because the emotions that came out of the aftermath.
I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
My daughter texted me from school and said, "Dad, Charlie Kirk has been shot." And I said, "This is insane. What? Can't be, you know."
Right.
And I looked it up, and yeah. And I broke down. I cried. It was somebody I looked up to, somebody I respect. If I was a dad, I would be proud of that kid.
Amen.
I mean, you know, and I said, I got to write a song about it. Well, I had a writing appointment with 3 other guys. And when I got to the appointment, I said, there's Jason Brownie, there's Nick Autry and Randall Fowler, you know. And I said, guys, we got to write a song about Charlie. It's tearing me up. It's killing me. And they were of the same mind. Nick says, I got a title. He said, I've been sitting on it for months because nobody wants to write it with me. I said, well, what is it? And he said, it's Good Man Going Home. I said, my God, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I said it, but I know that's it. You ever been in a situation where you just know something? I said, give me my guitar. And so I grabbed my guitar and I started strumming and I sung most of the first verse. And Nick says, my God, I can't type this fast. Randall says, I got the recorder going, keep going, man. And it started pouring out of us that way.
Mm-hmm.
And in an hour and a half's time, the song's written. And I told my wife, I said, it's the oddest ride I ever been to because I don't feel like I was even there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was. And then it was a battle to get it recorded in a timely manner, you know. But
right.
I feel like it was a gift.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make the audience wait for just a second. We got a quick time out to take.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll be with Jeff Bates, and we'll play the song. We'll play Good Man Going Home coming up in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So hang in. Song, it reminds me of my old school days when I used to play music. There's Charlie's song. It's called A Good Man Going Home by Jeff Bates, co-written by Jason Brownie, Nick Autry, and Randy Fowler. What a great tune. What a great tune.
Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous tune.
What a gift.
A lot of people reacting to it. And 9336 says, tell him a fan from Kathy's Tavern in Pulaski is tuned in and listening to Jeff Bates right now.
Tavern. I love those people, man. Great town.
Well, a lot of folks are talking about you and your music beyond this latest song. I got one caller or one texter that said, I listened to a song, He Wasn't Like Us, and just cry. Great artist. And great story from Jeff Bates.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, how can folks, in the minute or so that we have left, Jeff, I want folks to download this song and listen to it when they want to. How can folks find it?
They can find it anywhere where there's digital music, such as iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, that kind of stuff. You can also stream it on Spotify and Pandora and things like that. And you can also probably find it at jeffbates.net, which is my website, and I'll be on a new CD or a new album coming out at close to around the 1st of November.
Well, that's a great tune, and it's introduced me to Jeff Bates, which is pretty cool too. Because I'm glad to be introduced to you and introduced to your music, and hopefully we can introduce some folks to your message. I mean, it's a faith-based message, and we absolutely love it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's pleased to be here and tickled that you're happy that you actually play some music here too. That was great.
I know. I tell you what, we normally talk for a living. But
I know. That's what's great to me.
I like being able to listen to you play a tune, even though it's sad, but it's not so sad after you listen to that because you know where Charlie is.
That's the point. We know what he did here. Where's he at? Where's he at now?
Well, we know that too.
And aren't we going there?
Oh well, but, I gotta get right. That's what it tells me.
That's what it's about right there. Hey, you can also catch me on Facebook. We're big on social media: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Those right there.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
There's Jeff Bates. The song is "Good Man Going Home." Check it out on any place you get music. It's about 6:30. It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Couple of you asking the question, and I shall answer it. It's called "Good Man Going Home." It is by Jeff Bates, co-written by Jason Brownie, Nick Autry, and Randall Fowler. But if you just type in Jeff Bates or "Good Man Going Home," you'll find it. You can also go to jeffbates.net for more information about Jeff and his backstory. And it was really good to meet him and his wife, and I thank them for stopping by on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We don't do that sort of thing every day, but the song moved me. I think I don't tell anybody how to grieve. I don't tell anybody how to process things, but I would suggest that, when you put it in the right mindset, as painful and awful as it is, as much as we recognize that there's much work to be done on this earth, Charlie Kirk's ultimately his work must have been done because God allowed him to come home. I don't proselytize. I don't pretend to. I couldn't if I wanted to. But, it's in that spirit and mindset that we remind ourselves that a good man's going on. That doesn't mean that we don't have pain. That doesn't mean that we don't lament the loss and frankly, hate the evil that presents itself. But it does remind us that he is obviously in a better place. Thanks to Jeff and his folks for stopping by. All right, 615-737-9986. So I saw this video, and if you're watching on Talk TV, you're going to – this is it's next to impossible to understand what's going on just from an audio perspective. But I will try to feed you baby birds as this video comes up on your screen. This is I don't know what Hooters this was at. I asked the original poster if they could help me know exactly when and where this was. I am told that this happened sometime last week, and I'm not sure which Hooters it was at. The fact that it was at a Hooters is of no consequence. But what you will see in the video, you will see an individual being apprehended by two police officers. The two police officers are female. The individual being apprehended is roughly, I don't know, Jackson, are you watching? Are you going to watch this? You tell me what you estimate his weight to be, okay, when you see this, all right? So here's the, let me just play. It's less than a minute long, but here's the video. I don't think any curses happen.
He's not even trying.
So
they're starting to laugh too.
All right,
I believe in you. Whoever wins, I believe in you.
So two female police officers, they are trying to get an individual in cuffs. What's he, about 150? 180. Maybe 180. Not a big guy. Doesn't look to be a very tall guy. He thinks it's funny. They can't get him. They're trying to apprehend this dude. Now, here's the thing.
Well, the cops can't do their jobs. They cannot subdue a 140-pound Hispanic guy. But that guy did.
Okay, so what you just listened to, if you're not watching on video, there were two police officers involved in attempting to subdue. The guy that's videoing said it's 140. I'm going to say 160 at least. Although I don't think it's much more than that. He's not a very tall guy.
I'm going 180.
You're going to go 180? Less than 200.
Average build.
Average build, probably 5'8", 5'9", less than 2 bills. Two female police officers. Jackson, without leading you in any way, this is the first time you've seen this video, right?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
They were having a tough time.
They couldn't do it. Could not do it.
They were struggling.
They asked an employee of the Hooters, a big old guy, to help them. Like, there was a guy standing by, and eventually the guy who was in a bright yellow shirt, like a highlighter,
more green,
highlighter colored shirt, said, you don't hear him, but the way the officer looked at him, because she says, yeah, please. It's like he said, do you need me to help you? And she's like, yeah, please. And so this guy steps in, and within, 3 seconds, he gets him on the ground. Now, this is absurd. I don't know what police department this is. I'm looking into it. I'm trying to figure it out. I have no information as to whether or not it's in. I have nothing to suggest it's in Tennessee. This is from a regular poster on social media platforms. And so we don't know what Hooters this was in. But whenever this was filmed, is this what we're doing now? In the interest of diversity, the general public has to step in and help the police? The police asked for help? Folks, I have nothing against women serving in uniform. Nothing. And I know plenty of women who have served in uniform who could kick my sorry ass. But can we create a standard of expectation regarding upper body strength? And it really has nothing to do with gender. But nowadays, more than any, if an officer does not have the proper upper body strength to do the job, they should be removed from this type of duty. Bad guys are strong. Also, if you are going to have female officers respond to this type of thing, these were two females. I'm not going to comment beyond the fact that, they could not get this guy on the ground. In over a minute of them struggling to get his arms behind his back, to get his hands cuffed, this guy thought it was funny, but it's not funny. I'm talking about the perpetrator, the guy that was about to go to jail, thought it was funny. He smiled. He was laughing. He saw that he was being videoed, and he's like, these people can't even apprehend me. Well, what if the guy didn't think it was that funny? What if the guy had something that he could have done damage with? What if the guy had a weapon in his pocket or a weapon in his hand? The what-ifs write themselves. Secondarily, if these officers can't do their job, why are you putting them on a call? Why do you not... my goodness. Also, if you are aware that you are unable from a body strength perspective to handle someone like this, tase him. Is that not why we have tasers? This is fascinating to me. So, obviously, you don't want an officer to pull their weapon. You don't want an officer to pull their gun, right, and draw down on a guy that probably doesn't have a weapon and is probably just drunk in a Hooters somewhere. So you try to apprehend them without any sort of deadly force. Well, we used to have billy clubs. And billy clubs served as a perfectly acceptable way to subdue a suspect without having to use deadly force. It was an alternative to moving on to the next level. Well, obviously, there was some misuse of billy clubs, and over the years, the videos show that the officers were using billy clubs in a way that made people uncomfortable, even if they were being used properly. And so we didn't like billy clubs anymore. So then we moved on to tasers. And tasers are supposedly a middle option. You got, okay, you're complying. Now you're not complying. Now you're endangering the police officer, or, as in this case, the police officer does not have the ability to subdue you with their own force. So why did one of these officers not pull their taser and tase this dude. You get on the ground and you comply with our demands, or you are going to be tased. 1001, 1002, ride the lightning. Zzz. Don't tase me, bro. Have you ever seen the Don't Tase Me, Bro?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I haven't seen it.
You got to see the Don't Tase Me, Bro.
Is it safe for radio?
Yeah, I think the end of it is. It's, years ago, there was a student. I want to say it was a Florida student. There was a student at some sort of gathering that was being told to leave, and he was refusing to leave, and he was told that he was going to tase, and it's just his reaction. And he got tased. But he's like, hey, don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. And then he gets tased. Ow, ow. It's very, very funny. The guy's going to be fine. Why do you not tase this guy? This Hispanic-looking guy that thought it was very, very funny. Stop with the virtue signaling. Stop risking lives, and either do the job the right way or get somebody that can, and you'll find no bigger supporter of the police than yours truly, Matt Murphy. But I support good policing and good police tactics, not endangering the community with this nonsense. 615-737-9986. It's 10 until the top of the hour on Super Talk. Sometimes I play a game called The Last Thing That Matt Heard before we came back from break. I love playing this game. It's always truthful. This will not be one of those times because Jackson Williams was saying some very nasty things. Super Talk 99, you were. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jackson's mad because I'm leaving him for 3 days this week.
You are.
I'm leaving you in capable hands. Cameron Smith is going to be guest hosting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He's got some special surprises for you. So, oh, by the way, but we're not out. Tomorrow we're in, and Senator Marsha Blackburn will join us at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So
Ooh, she coming in studio?
She is not coming in studio. I'm very frustrated. I'm trying to get her in studio. I want to see Marsha in person. But
You saw her at the Tennessee game.
I did. Great outcome of the Tennessee game. I did not see her before the Alabama-Georgia game, which is probably why Georgia lost. Who knows? Robert might have some advice for us on the police front. By the way, I'm told by you sleuths in the audience that video from Hooters was from Greensboro, North Carolina. Robert, what's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, Robert.
All right. The questions, you had some questions you were analyzing why the police department doesn't have this, and if you could refresh me why the officers didn't do what they did, what were some of the questions you had? Because I think I can answer those for you.
The two police officers in question were attempting to put handcuffs on a suspect, and they were unable to do so and required the assistance of a stander-by in order to facilitate handcuffing the officer because clearly they did not have the upper body strength to accomplish the task.
Right. And sadly, that's not that uncommon. I mean, usually you had said something about females is why they didn't have the upper body strength, and I don't disagree with you at all, Matt. I would like to have more people meeting more of that physical standard. The disappointing part that we have is we've had to reduce our standards in law enforcement to a certain degree because we just don't have people coming to this line of work. Not every agency has a taser. You had mentioned tasers, but there's no requirement for agencies to have tasers. Usually have either a baton, it's usually collapsible baton, so those are still in use quite frequently.
Okay.
Some sort of chemical spray, and then also tasers, but not every agency has those. It's about a $500,000 investment on the front end for agencies to get. Some agencies can't afford it.
I got you. Well, and I'm not trying to be, and obviously you're in law enforcement, Robert. I can hear that. I'm not trying to be overly critical of law enforcement, generally speaking. I'm fascinated that when you watch the video, that the two officers in question don't seem to be bothered by this at all, that they can't get a handle on the situation. And I'm thinking, well, this one turned out fine because this guy that they're trying to apprehend, he had no intention of doing them any harm. I mean, he almost seemed like it was a game to him. But I'm thinking, man, what if you encounter someone that does decide to do you harm? And before you know it, you're in a bad way.
And thank God they didn't. That was not who they encountered. I don't know any backstory sometimes we get frequent flyers. They may have dealt with this individual in the past.
That's true. That's a good point.
It's quite often I've arrested the same person numerous times, and so we don't know the entire story on this. But 100% agree. I wish we could get better self-defense and defensive tactics standards. But post rules that there is no mandatory annual requirement for defensive tactics training for any law enforcement agency. I don't know about North Carolina, but I do here in Tennessee, there's no mandatory requirement. What you get in the academy is all you get unless the agency itself or the officers themselves do something outside of what's required.
Wow. Well, that's good info. Robert, will you please be our go-to resource on these matters? That's good stuff.
I'd be happy to, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you calling in and getting us some info.
Yes, sir. Glad to help.
All right, take care. I appreciate that, Robert. There you go. That's how you get it done. I cannot believe that Jackson's never seen this. Hey, give me audio. Give me audio. Give me audio.
What did I do? Get off your head, Mike. What did I do? What did I do? Help! Help! Put your hand on your back. Show me, man. Get off of me. I didn't do anything. Help me. Help me. Help! They're arresting me for nothing. You do not comply.
It gets better.
You'll be taken. Can you let me go? I'll walk out of here. Just let me go. Hold on your stomach.
Oh, I'm going to miss it.
I think if everybody.
Oh, I'm going to miss it.
This situation.
You'll have an option.
Dadgummit, I'm going to miss it. I promise you, he goes, don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. We'll tase you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Until then, so long, everybody.